Samples.
Yeah. Not today.
Got one.
Yeah.
Edible samples.
Because Matt bought donuts. So
There you
we
go.
partnered up here
Yeah.
today
Yeah.
for that. But here, I have a koozie, thanks to Darren, yes. Anyway, and so, and I'm gonna remain seated, I'm sorry, here's some more, remain seated because of a hip issue. So anyway, and then I've got some cards.
Those
Are
are
we
really
at a
nice.
football game or what is the story here? I'm ready for football season is all I can say.
That's
So anyway, but here's some cards if we wanna pass them around. We've got some, we'll send that some that way. Okay. Now we're playing poker. I don't know what's going on here, guys. Here. And then I've got cards if y'all want those later. I just want to tell y'all a little bit about Bit of Heaven, and then I'll kind of tell you what's a good fit for us. Well, I have 4 children, 6 grandchildren, and so with 4 kids, they were all involved in sports, and everybody was at Miss Gay's. So I fed a lot of people all the time. You just had the big pots and all of that. They all played sports. They came to my house before a ball game. And I loved, I loved having them there because I knew what they were doing, right, wrong, or indifferent. I knew what they were doing, so I had a little grasp on that. So I've always enjoyed cooking. My mother's a phenomenal cook. Hadn't pushed back from the table many times, as you can tell, but I enjoy that. But I had been in printing sales, had my own brokerage. I've done 100 different things. I've sold candy for a national candy company, traveled all over the country, done the big food shows. So that was just right up my alley. Went through a divorce and had my youngest son, and I have 3 older children, let me say this, and my first husband passed away at 37 years old of a massive heart attack. Went out to jog one Sunday afternoon and died in the neighbor's yard. So I had 3 kids. We're all super duper close. We're a ball team of sorts. We have each other's back at all times. We have a great time. When you don't have a lot of money, you get a great table like this and you play a lot of cards. So, and then I remarried and have a precious son that's 20, so I have quite a bracket here from 34, 33, 30, and 20. I guess he's coming to dinner. So, but during that time I remarried, had a son, went through a divorce, and I was working at a Starbucks. And that's how catering came along. I had a gentleman that came in every time, got the same thing, 5 or 6 days a week. And he loved food, I loved food. We talked. He said, "Hey, we do this thing for our customers a couple of times a year. Would you ever like to do that?" "Oh, I'd love to, but how do you get started?" That's where catering started, was in a Starbucks with Haas Manufacturing. His name was Dan Hollerman, and so that was 15 years ago. I grew it from your home kitchen, then I transferred a 3-car garage, did that, and then I went out on my own and I started in West Nashville, and so we did a lot of the medical and all of that. We've done some fun people. There's some books that have pictures. Eddie George, nicest guy on the planet, did a huge event for him that included the red carpet, the tents, the valet, the whole 9 yards. So we can pretty much do your whole event. So that's kind of where it went. My dad got sick with cancer. They lived in Memphis, and when it was going fantastic, we were doing like 45 breakfasts or lunches a week and all that. And in 2008, who remembers when the economy crashed? There you have it. So corporate completely shut their purses down, and I went to 10 or 12 a week. So I moved into the storage unit, cooked again out of my apartment. I'm like, "Lord, I have worked so hard for this. You have blessed us so much. Why is this happening?" So this was November, December, January. I go to visit my dad in Memphis, which wasn't doing good, and my mom got sick that night. We rushed her to the hospital with congestive heart failure. We lost her twice in the ambulance. So here I become a nurse. Not my calling at all. So I moved out of my apartment, and I got to spend 6 or 7 months with my mom and dad and take care of them. Mom was in the hospital collectively 2.5 of that, so it was quite a juggling act. My daughter Rebecca took care of my 20-year-old. He was in school, so he stayed here with her. So, but during that whole time, everybody said, you know, what are you gonna do with your business? And I said, this is how I feel. I have one time to spend this last time with my dad, which was my biggest fan, loved me in spite of myself, loved me unconditionally, I will say. Greatest man that walked the planet. And so then I got my mom situated. She had never pumped gas, never paid a bill. That was quite an interesting thing. So I got her situated and I came back and made a few phone calls. All my customers were there. Started up again. So it's been this kind of whirlwind of where God's going to take you on a journey and you never know where you're going to end up. And Rebecca was in corporate with Brinker International and Chili's and all that, and she would open restaurants, train people, all of that. So I
So
finally,
you were grooming her.
huh?
You were grooming her, weren't you?
Silently, like I'm gonna. So our deal was if I started it again, I rented a little 2-bedroom house, which wasn't above board. But anyway, I did that, and I built it up, and I said, okay, I'm at this point, and I can't go any further unless we move into a full commercial kitchen and you come on board. And so talk about a leap of faith, leaving that corporate salary. You've got 3 children, you know, the whole 9 yards. Thank the Lord, her husband worked at Nissan, had a great job, so we could go on this. So we started in a little 2-bedroom. We went out on Douglas Bend, had a great old house for 3 years, and that was fun. And now we have been blessed with this huge venue in Gallatin. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell, and where we've come from. And the word is never give up. Always give. Don't expect to receive, and your blessings will be more than you ever thought they would be. We do corporate, personal. We kind of, our motto is we'd love to do your wedding, you know, your shower for your wedding, and then do your wedding, and then do your baby showers, and then we did grandma's, you know, 50th anniversary. We've done a 90th birthday. So we keep going up. I want to do 100 one day. So, and we do big church events, huge corporate events. But one of the biggest things from my heart that sets us apart is the fact of giving back in certain organizations that we plug into. Our number one that we're totally vested in is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Beyond, hands down. They are I have 6 grandchildren, so they're all in school. And they're the only organization that can go in and ever mention God, Jesus Christ, or pray at all. I'm thrilled they're having to put the signs back up, and God we trust again in our schools. I don't know if you've heard that. But anyway, that is one of our largest and biggest focuses. We feed in Gallatin. We're going on our 4th year. Every Thursday, 4 o'clock, we feed the Gallatin football team. Kind of corporate up with either a church, but it's through Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Those are my guys. I mean, they're like my kids. I see them out in the community. They will come up and pump my gas. They'll see me in the grocery store. They'll take my groceries out. They'll roll the window down. And when I was in Gallatin, they all kind of drive trucks and they're about yay far off the ground. And they roll the window down. Miss Gay, what are we having Thursday? You know. And I've seen them graduate. That kind of thing is what blesses us. We do their 1,000-person banquet every October, and it's a ministry that we love. We partner with also CASA, which is a child advocacy group. They're all over, but anyway, the one in Gallatin we do a lot with, where they go in and they partner. They are there for the children when they go to a court or whatever to protect the children. That's big in our book too. We have a few others. One thing we're doing that's real fun, this year, we're partnering with one other church, Grace Point Church. They've done this before a few years ago. Our firemen, our policemen, our EMTs, all those people that every day go out for us, whether we actually intertwine with them, whether through a speeding ticket, burglary, whatever it is. Anyway, whether, you're smiling. Have you gotten one of
You
those?
said speeding ticket.
There you go. I knew
Been a while.
I knew there was a smile
Been a
coming
while.
somewhere. But we are doing a 9/11 at our venue. We're doing a heroes lunch, and we're inviting all of those groups, and they can come and have lunch with us. We just want to say thank you for the service that you've done with us. This is where some of our money goes. These are things that we love to do. And I don't know if y'all, the missing man table, are y'all familiar with that and anything? Have you ever heard of it before? And it's very specific what you have to have. It's a round table with a white cloth, and we'll have a helmet of each one of those. It's one clear vase with a rose, and it's for all those that have lost their life. And so we will have that. It's at the EMT ceremonies. It's ROTC has a missing man table when we do their banquets. So we're gonna do that. So that's just something.
Community outreach.
You love your community, and it's gonna come back. I'm gonna tell you something real funny about the police department. When we have food left from big events and different things, so the next day I'm like, okay, who can we bless with this? So we'll go to the fire stations, we'll go wherever. Anyway, and a lot of those graduated with some of my kids, so I know some of these guys here, they've put their feet under my table before. And, so with that, with the EMTs, so I'm cooking, it's a Saturday, I'm sweating, I had one in an apron, I had my cell phone, other one had the business phone, I'm doing this, and it's a long hall, here's prep area, at the end is the kitchen. Well, I turn around, and there's two policemen standing there. I'm like, what? My 20-year-old, yeah, are they looking for him, Anyway, so I come down the hall, all the girls, Rebecca and all the ladies standing there, they're looking at me and they're like, someone called 911. I said, oh, it wasn't me or whatever. Yep, I called 911. So there we go. Okay, we're either gonna write you up or you're gonna feed us something. Well, I had some brownies, so they got some brownies. So anyway, so that's one thing. Something else that we're doing to get the word out about our venue, we call it the gathering place where friends become family. And it's got a smaller entrance where you can do a corporate breakfast, lunch, meet all day. We have screens, you can do whatever. In the smaller room, they'll seat about 54. In the larger room, we can seat with a band and everything, 200 people. So you've got a wide range. Then we have an outside, we're doing this in September, we have somebody from ServPro. So we're doing his 50th birthday, so we're having a band in one part, and then he wants football in another part. Huge Roll Tide fan. Anyway, so he wants that, and Tennessee, they're playing that day, I think, anyway. But we're having tents outside, a bar outside, cornhole, just a huge, so utilize the whole facility with that. And then, so anything corporate coming up, breakfast, lunch, afternoon, ice cream and dessert bar is phenomenal. Corporate parties, holidays are booking up. Just booked something this morning on the way in for next August. It's just kind of crazy what's going on. One thing I want to tell y'all about, there's a September the 8th, Grits, Grace, and Grub. And instead of having they have the Taste of Hendersonville, we've done that, we've won awards out of, done the same in Gallatin. Gallatin's now going to Grace and Grub, and the ticket is $25, it's from 3 to 7. You can go around, I believe right now it's 15 different restaurants.
Wow.
We're the only venue, and at each one they're having bluegrass or jazz or some kind of music, food, that kind of thing. So if you want to do that, that's on the chamber website, but that's a pretty cheap date to go to all those restaurants.
When is that?
September the 8th. And it's on, like I said, it's on chamber website, or y'all can call us, or.
I wrote it down
you
and
know.
put up on our
Yes.
page on our site.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit more about the venue. People that have been here and were at the Christmas party saw it. It just opened up, but nobody really knows it. There's different.
There's different areas, we have, okay, one thing we do that's different from other venues, we have a parking lot that is asphalt. We're not a barn, you don't have to go through gravel or the field, okay? We go to all those places and cater there, but we're excited we have something you can roll a cart into or whatever, so, and you can have anything from, we do a lot of showers there in that front room,
So how many people do you think the front room will hold? It's not.
54 seated, or you can have more. We've had bistros in there, kind of a come and go, mix and mingle for, and after hours for a company, that kind of thing. And in the large, we've had that set up where you have, you know, your bar, your drinks or whatever, mix and mingle. You go on in the big room. We've had huge birthday parties, you know, and we can seat 200 in that large room and have a buffet off of that. And there's 2 bathrooms on the back side. There's a room for brides or bands is what I call it. The bands have used it, the brides have used it one time, but they've got a couch and table and all sorts of stuff in there. Gary Allen, yeah, he's been there, done his hoo-ha. I have to remember all these names. I'm like, I can tell you what we ate that day. Now who came, I couldn't tell you as much, but, and referrals, that's how we built this completely. My first question is, how'd you hear about us? Oh, so-and-so, or I ate your food here, or whatever. We now, thanks to Lemur Technology, have a one-page wonder, which we're gonna fill in a little bit with, but I've gotten 4 referrals this week already. Which I've already booked one thing off of, so that's what he calls it, our one-page wonder, so we're gonna.
And
do
that was actually put up for an event, so people could go in and they could order their specific meal, and it would already be there, prepay, just an excellent idea. Now
That's
it's
something
being
he
used
did that
for-
was phenomenal. I'm like, I don't know how to make that work.
2 days or something.
It
And now
was-
it's yielding referrals for people just going up there and.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
very nice.
you know, he set up PayPal. I don't know what all he did for that, cause I wasn't in that. I was making the box lunches. But he did all that with Rebecca and set it up where they can, you know, do that, so.
Referrals even after.
And it was referrals, I looked around, I have physically, personally done business with 8 people in this room, and they are phenomenal, upstanding. I would recommend them to anybody. Matter of fact, I'm with you today for 2 groups, you know, with ServPro out there, and so this organization, we've been asked to be in 100, and no, this is the only one that I will commit to go in and cook from 6 to 8 and leave and come here. I believe in it wholeheartedly. So the new members, you're in the right place. You know, you're on the ground floor of your business, you're on the ground floor of here, and there's just no telling. I can't wait to look back in a year or 2 and say, wow, you know. And what I'm looking for a certain word, the expertise or the whatever word I'm looking for of each person that's in this group in their field are beyond trustworthy, except some are marginal, but most of them are at best. He just keeps smiling. He's gotten speeding tickets. You can't trust him. I'm really working on
I
this.
gotta go
Hey,
sit
and
up
I'll
in
do
that tree.
this. Hey, I'll
Face the
advocate
tree.
for her real quick and I'll shut up, but over the last 4 months, I've utilized her services 3 times. And it wasn't huge events, it may be 25 people to 50 people. And it didn't take me long to figure out over time that if I went to Panera Bread and tried to feed 25 or 50 people,
it's been more.
it's gonna be, either cost more or be about what the cost would be with her. That's a heck of a lot better than getting hot food, you know, chicken breast, green beans, corn on the cob, whatever, and having a dessert and a bread, you know, and it's gone a long way. We've held two at two different hospitals, one at the Metro precinct, the police officer precinct, and it's fantastic. So it doesn't have to be a huge event, right? I mean,
No,
it can be,
no.
you know, 25 or 50 people, you know, and it's very reasonable at the cost of
We even
what
do
you pay
smaller
somewhere
ones,
else.
so, you know,
Yeah.
we'll take care of you, you know? If you're hungry, we got you, you know?
I want to
so.
brag on Miss Gay real fast too. I was unable to make the last event because I actually had to be at corporate where Miss Gay does a lot of her work. And I believe Rebecca was up there. She was feeding like 2 classes and we were part of it. We weren't necessarily a class, it was more like a review thing.
Right.
And they came in for lunch and someone asked, are we getting the catered lunch? And they said, no, we ordered pizza. And from just people being up there so much, you could hear people go, oh. Like, they know you up there. They definitely know you up there.
Pizza.
Perfect.
Yes.
Anything, anybody got any questions?
Testimony.
That it?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys, appreciate it.
Good job.